All right, let's go.
Oh, welcome to the unfiltered, unedited, and unhinged podcast, which is kind of terrifying because
It's the very first podcast that we've ever done, so probably it's gonna suck, maybe.
But we hope you stick along for the ride anyway. We'll promise we'll try to get better. We can't promise that we will, but we will try. Today's episode, is that what we call it?
Yes,
Today's episode is about how to stand out on social media, or content that stands out. We actually have not thought of a name, which we realized when we sat down.
That's exactly the name. Write it down.
Social media content that slays. I don't really know. We'll figure it out. But basically, it's about that. But before we start, we want to share a lesson of the week, and we're going to try and see if we can keep doing this or make sort of.
So then, what is your lesson of the week?
My lesson of the week would be to listen to what clients are telling you when they're not actually telling you anything. So what I mean by that is, recently we've seen a huge increase in the number of clients who we speak to on the phone. They want the system that we offer. They absolutely need the system. They've seen the price point, it's okay, and then they disappear. And while they're not actually saying anything at all, that tells me something is going on and it's some sort of fear issue, right?
And it's not that we don't follow up. We ask them if they need more support, if they have any questions. We would make jokes with them and they say, hey, have you ghosted us? And delivered, read, not replied.
And it's hard for you because you come out and you're so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, this person really needs this. And you come out really excited and it is disheartening. But on their end, I'm like, they're trying to tell me something and we need to pick up and we need to be able to read what they're trying to tell us. And we don't actually watch the news or the media. We stay away from it because it's quite toxic.
It's very, very toxic, yeah.
So we don't really know what's going on in the world. But a friend just said, I think it was 47% of businesses are closing down, or 47% more businesses are closing down than last year. And there's a huge financial crisis. And we were like, okay, well, I guess that's the fear that they have. So we took it on board, we listened to them, even though they didn't tell us, but we listened to them, and now we have extended our payment plans, we have reduced our deposit, we've done what we can to make it accessible.
We shuffle all the structure of payments entirely so it could be, I don't know, it's exactly what you just said. We need to be able to listen what they need, and that is something that a lot of people get lost because they do what they think is right instead of really listening. This is what we do as a service. So we need to be able to serve people, and if we find a way to serve them better in terms of delivering an exceptional service, finding the way, to meet in the middle, to kind of negotiate those things and to be able to find a best way for both of us, I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's my lesson. What's your lesson?
My lesson, well, you guys will know very soon. I'm a Christian and I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in God, and I think what I learned this week was that everything happens at the right time. It doesn't happen when I want it, but happens when I need it.
When it's meant to happen,
Because sometimes I ask for things to happen and it doesn't happen. And when they don't happen, usually it's because there's a lesson there that I have to learn, that I have to grow. For example, in this case, that was your take of the week. For me, it was exactly in another sense. I was like, wow, I cannot see results. We're working super hard. We put our hearts in what we do. And why are we not seeing results? And then the result of that reflection was for us to restructure everything again.
Yeah.
And that was my take of the week. So God, that's answer and allows us to help people just at the right time, when we're ready.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, if you are, like, neither of us believe that God is just going to give things to you. But if you're putting the work, you're being faithful, you have that belief, and I think that's the, like, even whatever your beliefs are, if you believe in manifestation, like, all of that comes down to, you can't just say, drop $100 on my doorstep. It's like, put the work, believe it's going to happen, and it will come back to you.
And that is something that people should start putting on their mindset. I mean, nothing in nature happens overnight. I don't put a seed in the soil and it will flourish tomorrow and I have a tree with fruit tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way. So I understand that a lot of people have scarcity, but also things are happening. You just can't see them yet, but they are happening. Yes. The fact that the tree hasn't go over the surface yet doesn't mean that the roots are not getting ready for that to take off. So keep doing what you're doing. And okay, let's
get into
dive
it.
into it.
I have my trusty phone here because we're doing this unedited, as we hope, or we're going to do our best. This is actually our second attempt because I just had a meltdown.
And I apologize for all those people who are listening to us or watching us right now. If you are familiar with maths, probably I speak a little bit like Adrian. If you need subtitles, I'll make sure I can put subtitles to some words.
There's no subtitles in podcasts, so if you're just listening.
If you're watching it YouTube as well. So
it's just that sexy South American accent.
It's not sexy, it's just, yeah. So I apologize if you cannot understand me. I will try my best to be clear with my English.
You're good. But anyway, got my literal note with 3 dot points because we don't want to go too much off on a tangent, but basically we're going to be talking about social media and types of content that you can implement in your business to stand out, because there's just social media, there is so much going on the platform, and you need to be finding ways that you can stand out from every other person in your industry. And I have a couple of really good suggestions that we're going to sort of build out today. So the first one is relatable content. And I think relatable content, authentic, transparent content is really in at the moment because people do business with people. And this is the reason that we're doing this as well, is because we want to be like our authentic selves. And this is how we are. We're just having a coffee with a friend. And it's sometimes hard to show that on social media when you feel like you have to be polished and presented all the time.
I still dress nicely for you guys. I mean,
we do not dress like this. I actually was fully prepared to go casual, and he comes out looking like a schnack. And I was like, your button's out though.
No, it's not.
And anyway, so I think relatable content's really in. Relatable content could be, this is where it comes down to like behind the scenes stuff. And what you think is boring is actually really interesting for people. I was talking to somebody the other day and we were talking about florists. And for example, going to the flower market. How interesting is that for somebody who's never been to the flower market? I think that's super interesting. But for a florist, it's like, oh, so boring. It could be...
We were talking to one of our... She's like thinking about jumping with us. She's still on the fence, but she does something really cool. She does dress designing. And she takes their client
shopping
for a journey, shopping to find the fabrics and the right ones. And how cool experience. How would you not record that and make it a journey for all the people that are watching? Because that could be super interesting. I have no idea about fabrics. I would love to learn.
I think
just because I'm nosy.
So interesting. And the other thing that I'm super intrigued about in the wedding industry is like, what do photographers and videographers eat when they're at a wedding? Because
that would be awkward. They sit you on a table, you don't know anybody.
Like a vendor table, like what happens on that vendor table? What are you eating? I want to know. And all of that is
That's a really good idea, yeah.
Because the thing is, you see what happens. You see the beautiful photos, you see the hair, the makeup, or the flowers, or whatever it is you see, but you don't see what happens that actually makes that person a person. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, you've actually got to eat. Or, oh, you're at home washing your brushes when you've just been, like, all of the things that you don't think about. And I just know clients resonate with that.
For example, content super simple. Like, for example, that makeup artist doing the makeup, and then you get to the mother of the bride, and the mother of the bride say, hey, could you please, you know, with the makeup, remove all the wrinkles, or can you get rid of my chin? I'm like, bro, I'm not a plastic surgeon. I'm not a magician.
Yeah, but you can't really, I don't think that you can display that, because that's relatable for other business owners that are in the same industry as you, but that's not something that you can really do with clients to relate to.
All right. Yeah. So then I really appreciate what you're saying. For example, show them the other side of the vendors, like all the planning behind,
humanize
cleaning
yourself.
the brushes, preparing all the, oh, this is for the bride, this is for the mother, this is specific sets of brushes is going to be for this person. Like, I don't know, I really love the way that people used to do TikToks before. Let's come with me and pack an order with me. I love that thing.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I think is missing. And that's what I think TikTok, like old school new business TikTok, did really well, like small business TikTok, whereas Instagram needs that. And service providers are not doing that very well. A lot of product-based businesses do it really well, but service providers aren't, and I think that is so necessary. And if you don't believe us, or you don't want to listen to us, which you should, but just in case you're thinking, why should I listen to them? I have some statistics. So
numbers, data, I love it.
We love data. Uh, 80% of social media users prefer getting to know a business through content rather than ads.
Wow.
80%, that's huge.
Well, rather than ads.
Rather than ads. The next one, posts with faces receive 38% more likes and 32% more comments than those without.
Right.
And my last one is authentic, unpolished content on Instagram stories generates 2 times higher engagement than highly produced posts.
So being relatable, showing yourself, you don't need to show your face, you can show someone else's face.
I think it doesn't get to know the business because if you go on a, let's use makeup as an example because they post faces all the time.
Right.
They're posting so many faces, it doesn't give you the opportunity to build trust because you're like, who is the business owner? So many times we have a little stalk of people before we have a call with them. And I'm like, who are you? Where are you? Like, I want to know you. I want to connect with you. And I'm not even going to be a client of yours, but
yeah, I see that mistake a lot. It's like, imagine the world of hair and makeup artists, the world of many businesses, as if you go to the website of Nike, go to the website of Nike, Google it. You won't see choose and only choose. You see experience, emotions, lifestyles, feelings, challenges. Just do it.
And that comes into, like, we're not just talking about websites, we're talking about social media. So that exact strategy can be brought into
don't show just the product, the finished product of what you do. Show there's so many dimensions to it. You don't need you just one dimensional to one thing. You just show your hair, your makeup, your product, your service, your end result. Show more about you.
I agree. Even like photographers, right? Their Instagrams always look phenomenal because they obviously have professional photos, but I want to see you editing. I want to see what the photo looked like before. Show me how good you are. Not like trying to prove yourself to me, but if you just see the edited photo, you're like, wow, beautiful. But if you get to see the before and then the edit, you're like, oh, this person's really good at what they do. And I think that shows value. Everything comes down to value, connection, trust. But yeah, that's my thought on that.
And even the craft of how things happen. Because, for example, I remember when you used to do makeup, there's so many things that people don't ever explain you. When you're doing makeup, you say, oh, well, you have a very nice space for your eyeshadows, or you have very nice eyebrows, or you can say, well, the shape of the eyes, right? Some drop down, some in the middle, some go up, and that based on the way of the shape of the face, you can enhance some things, and that is really good if someone would be able to explain it. Well, this type of nose will look really good like this and like that, because I don't know, if you explain your craft, if you can bring others to your world, that will help so much more.
Even if you're a makeup artist and you're like, come shopping at Mecca or Sephora with me, I'm like, take me with you. What are you putting in that basket? How much did you spend? You know?
Yeah.
All of those behind the scenes, which actually really leads me into my next point. I think these two are very hand in hand, but it's basically like, that's the behind the scenes of you as a person, right? What it's like to be you, what it's like to live in your life, what it's like to live in your career. The next one is about what is it like to be a client of yours and bring people into that world. So for examples of this would be, hairstylists are doing their consult videos. Makeup artists should do that too, like at a trial when you're doing the consult with your client. When you're doing somebody's makeup and on the wedding day, you can ask them along the way, like, what was it like having me as your makeup artist? Like, get that raw testimonial, video testimonial in the moment that's authentic. Then you do your bride's reaction. This can work for any industry. It could be if you're a photographer showing your couples their photos and like literally getting their reactions if you're doing it on a Zoom call or something. If you're a celebrant, it's quite tricky because you're meeting them in like on the wedding day, but it could be that moment of connection with you or the moments in the lead up. It could be if you're a florist showing your couples the reveal of everything. Like, what is it like to be a client of yours?
I've seen that very well done and executed by hairdressers in salon.
I agree.
When they literally block the eyes of the person and then they do the reveal of the final product, and it's like, oh my God, look at my hair. You know, that excitement, the emotion.
Excitement.
Exactly. And we used to do that with makeup as well. I remember we'll be like, okay, do you want to see your face? Cool. We'll put the cameras there and we'll give them the mirror, and they'll be like, oh my God, they couldn't even recognize themselves. And that is something that is so beautiful, so raw, so natural. And it's something that people in the wedding industry the chance to enjoy every single time they do it.
It's the most rewarding part, is being able to see how happy people are. Like, they're already on very high emotions, and then being part of that and bringing that to life. I think being able to show people who are looking and thinking, oh, should I book this person? And then for them to step into that client, they can see themselves there. It's like, wow, that's what it would feel like. And when you're actually talking about, if a mother comes through and is like, oh, can you get rid of these wrinkles? To be able to capture that on video and then the way that you handle that question, I think is a really great way to be able to obviously there's the things that we think like, well, yeah, I'm not a magician. Like, no matter how much you tell me to get spac filler, I'm not.
I do makeup, no rehab. Anyway.
Yeah. But I think for you to be able to word that and articulate that to someone would show them, like, let's say I'm a potential bride and I'm wanting to book you for my makeup, and I see that and I'm like, oh my goodness, my mum would say the same thing, and that's how that person would handle it, and that's a really warm, nurturing way to handle it, I think.
No, yeah. I remember when I used to do sales, when I used to sell luxury cars, one of the most important steps was for them to do a beautiful test drive. Why? So many people didn't understand, but the real reason is because people sit behind the wheel, they drive, they feel that they own. It's the very first chance they get to experience what it's like to have that car. So if you are able to do the same and bring people to your world so they can envision what it will be like to be working with you, that will be super magnetic for all the people to say, that's it, I'm over the line, I want to go with that person.
I want to feel like that.
I want to feel like that, happiness, party. Come on, man, it's a wedding.
And also every vendor's different, right? I mean, for me personally, when I was doing makeups, I'm definitely more of the cool, calm and collected approach. I will be that grounding person on a day. But I've met other vendors who are like so upbeat, they're loud, they bring the party, they're pumping the music, and I'm like, that person is suited to a particular bride. My personality is suited to another type of bride. And there's so many different personalities out there. And by showing your potential clients through your social media posts what that feels like, that's going to give them a really comforting sense of, this is my person.
Yes, because we fall into the mistake of showing our craft too much. But once you get to a certain level, honestly, the difference is just so minimal. The styles are a big thing, but in terms of skills itself, they all kind of grasp the same level.
There's so many skilled people.
So then you need to think, what is it that I have that no one else has that will make me attractive? And this is something that the education system does wrong. Everyone comes with different colors, shapes and forms to the education systems, and the education system just shapes you all flat in one way. And in business, to do well, you need to go back to your own identity and being able to show yourself exactly who you are, how you are. Doesn't matter if you're a foreigner, South American, that doesn't speak well. It does not matter as long as you have their heart in the right place.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, for example, for us, this is a real reason that we wanted to do these videos and these podcasts, because we know that the way we connect with clients when we work with them, we have Zoom calls and all of the things, and we build such a strong connection with our clients, like honestly, not clients, they're friends. And we know that we've made lifelong friends, but we were like, this is not coming across to people that don't know us. For example, I'm going to use an example. Yesterday, every time we welcome a new person into our world, we happy dance, which is kind of lame, but we've done it. We've literally done it since we started. And
I would love to explain that to people.
But you said to me yesterday, I shared it on my Instagram stories, and you were like, people might think that you're like, we're bragging about a sale. And I'm like, that's not it at all. We're just so excited because we speak to them, we know we can help them, and we deeply believe in what we do, and we know how much it can help. So that's what we're excited about.
I have two reasons. The most important one is that one, because I feel like I love when people are taking actions, especially with something that is new-ish. For most small businesses, that is a known thing, a needed thing when you're quite big. But when you're new, that is a new thing to do. It's scary. But the thing that fulfills me the most is that people see the value, see where they are, see where they want to go, and they trust us to take them to the next level. And that is something that is... I got a beautiful compliment this week from one of our new onboarding clients. And she said, Well, in my area, and she mentioned 7 businesses that we helped in that area, and she said all those businesses that worked with you guys last year had a big propulsion, big G. They were propelled by the work that you guys have done, and they are so far ahead in the game, and I cannot fall behind. And that was a beautiful
I
compliment.
nearly cried, low-key nearly cried.
Me too, because seeing all our people, customers that are friends now doing well is refreshing, you know. It's like when someone pick you. So that's why I dance, because I love when people can trust us that we can take them to the next level. That is fulfills me so much.
So fulfilling. We got completely sidetracked there. How does that have
Sorry.
anything to do with social media? We knew it would be like this and go off on a tangent. But the whole point of that entire segue was basically about people, our customers, our clients, our friends, they would know why we're celebrating. And we realized people that don't know us wouldn't know that. So we wanted to do this so people could get to know us on a deeper level, like our clients, like our friends. And we want the same for you. And we hope you do the same in your business, because I truly believe that connection is what is important. And people forget social media, literally break down the words social. It is used to be social, to connect, to share yourself, and not just the beautiful work that you do. While it is beautiful, of course, you need to share it as well. But just share you, share behind the scenes, be real, be authentic. And that kind of content is so refreshing. I could binge it, honestly.
Yeah, you have the one single unique face in the world, the one unique personality in the world. You have your uniqueness within yourself, and that is what you need to be brave enough to show, because that is immediately what is going to make you stand out in front of your competition, in front of everybody, because there's no other human being like you in the world.
No.
And if you have, honestly, if you have the bravery to show it, there's nothing that can stop you.
You're unstoppable. There is a fly that we tried to get rid of,
I'll eat it later.
and it's just, that fly has a will to live, so we had to let it live, but it's here on us. So if you hear it buzzing around, I do apologize. But apart from that, I'm very sad my coffee is over. I think they were our main points for today, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we did, I think we got the message across in the way that
There is so much more about it, but we don't want to have long podcast. I think this is something that people need to reflect on. Be relatable, be yourself.
show behind the scenes.
Make sure you can do. You can have an emotional connection to people. Please don't take away the chance to show the experience of being with you to your clients.
Yeah, exactly. Because, for example, I know when I'm looking to, I literally wanted to go and get a lash lift, and I was looking at different businesses to go to. I did not want to book with somebody who I couldn't see their face. I'm like, who is going to be up in my face? Like, I want to know, and I'm a little bit of an anxious person. So those things are important to me. I want to see who I'm connecting with. And not everyone's going to be like that. Like, don't get me wrong. There are people that'll just like book and they don't mind who they're booking or the experience they're getting. But there are people out there that do care about those things, and you don't want to take that opportunity away from them. The question actually I've been asked before is, somebody said, how do you speak so well to a camera? If I showed you...
I don't know how you guys are going to do it, but
I did not. Like, some of my first stories on Instagram were horrific. Like, actually, I have zero emotion. It's shocking. But you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to show, or you don't want to speak, you can film little snippets of your day and then just put music and put little text about what you're doing. Or you could do a voiceover. Like, there are so many ways to show yourself and your authenticity through content if you are shy until you build up to that stage. But I definitely think you'll be scared, do it scared.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Just to wrap it up, because we're right in the time frame where I would like to just close this. Yeah. I think it's important for people to understand that whatever they're going to start doing is rewarding in a sense, because you're developing new skills within yourself. It's not going to feel comfortable, but it's the right feeling that you need to have in order for you to develop any new skills. So yes, you will suck. Probably our first podcast will suck compared to the ones that we're going to do in 2-3 years in time.
100%.
But that is the journey that you need to put yourself through, that we put ourselves through, and that's hopefully an encouragement for you to take action towards your goals, achieving your dream life.
Yeah, don't let your fear get in the way. Honestly, I feel like we've been very mild and very tame today, where I'm usually a lot more weird than this. I feel like I've been quite reserved, but I was nervous.
Yeah, it's
was
okay.
so nervous.
Anyway, thank you so much. Hopefully you found some value. If you have any topics that you would like us to discuss,
Oh, please let us know.
if you want, we have received so many inquiries from people who want to jump in this as well. We will be super humble and happy to have you on board as a guest. So just reach out. We're super flexible, super open, and whatever you need, let us know. We're here to help.
Yeah, that was amazing. Love it. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.